So if you're a customer that's looking to transform into a true modern enterprise, you're looking at digital transformation and how you get there. One of the key factors to enabling true digital transformation is migrating your services to the cloud. So in this series, we're going to talk about why you would migrate services to the cloud and how you migrate your services to the cloud, and then what it means to truly take advantage of digital transformation once you're there. So tune in to learn more in this three-part series about cloud migration and transformation. So in this first video, we're going to talk about what it means to migrate to the cloud, what it means to truly transform, and that's a powerful word, and what are the basic definitions and terms that we use when we look at moving towards a cloud-based model. Keep in mind, I'm a salesperson, right? I am not an engineer. So when I'm speaking to customers, and for the purposes of this video, I'm going to be talking in high-level terms and try to convey the basic strategies and techniques that are required to move to the cloud. Both strategically and technically, I think, based on my experience with customers, every single business needs to be figuring out how they can migrate their services to the cloud, whether it's a full migration or a hybrid migration. I think the cloud has tremendous advantages and truly is what positions customers to evolve and take advantage of digital transformation. The first thing I like to do is define the terms, right? So when I look at cloud, I look at it in kind of two ways, right? You have your network-based services, and then you have your applications that run on the network, right? So network-based services are things like voice and data. So voice services, for example, would mean that you have a phone system that's on-prem, and you're going to move it to something like a RingCentral or a Vonage or 8x8, a hosted VoIP solution. And really, these are the basic foundations of network-based cloud migrations. Oddly enough, voice services actually were migrating to the cloud 20, 30 years ago. There was a service called Centrex. Many people might be familiar with it if they've been in the industry for a long time. And basically, Centrex meant that the service provider, like AT&T, for example, would provide the line-side features on your phone service, but they would do it from their central office rather than you purchasing a PBX. And they deliver a POTS line or a Centrex line. And on that Centrex line, you would get the traditional features and functionality of having a PBX on-prem. So I'll use that example as one of the first real examples of cloud-based services. Now, another type of cloud model would be the network component for data. So traditionally, data networks would be like Frame Relay, MPLS, and now even SD-WAN. But what we see is those networks becoming more application-based. So security is moving to the edge. Access to applications is also being distributed to the local offices versus having like a central office where all the applications would be hosted, or a data center. And there's a major transformation going on from the service providers to move customers into more of a cloud-based network model. Now, the second component, and for the purposes of our discussions that we're going to focus on, is the application layer. So when you think about applications moving to the cloud, you're going to be thinking more about, say, email, moving from Exchange to Office 365, or you're thinking about your Active Directory, file storage, things like that, your ERP platform or your CRM. You're moving the actual applications into a cloud model. So early examples of this may be, in the financial and banking institutions, they've always used what were called traditionally ASPs, or application service providers. They may get some banking functionality from like a central system that all of the banks would plug into. So an example of that is like FIC, I believe, is the acronym. So essentially, cloud is not a brand new strategy. It's just today technology is moving so quickly that the advantages of being in the cloud have changed drastically, and they're ubiquitous. So what I mean by that is, every business is probably already using some form of the cloud, but the key to leveraging the cloud and getting towards true digital transformation, and by that I mean a customer is really positioning their products and services to take full advantage of scale, automation, and analytics. So once you get to the cloud, what you'll notice is cloud service providers, and the major ones are basically Azure, Google Cloud, and AWS, they're putting a huge investment in analytics, in cloud-based security, in auto scaling and tooling, basically, or microservices as they call them, that truly allow you to transform your business. There are so many businesses that have had to, basically get unstuck. Their industry has changed quicker than they are able to. There's been disruption, maybe to their product and service line. And they need to quickly figure out how they're going to evolve and service customers in a different way. One of the main and most recent examples of this that really was a catalyst to customers having to either evolve, change, or, in some cases go out of business was the pandemic. So both enterprises and small businesses had to adjust, and those that were cloud enabled to some degree had a tremendous advantage, whether it was network based or it was the application based. So in this series, what I want to do is I really want to dive into two subjects, and that is, why do you go to the cloud, which will be our next video, and then the final video is, how do you get to the cloud, right? So we're really going to dive into the different terminology and all the different examples of why I believe, and most customers like yourselves are really looking into how to take advantage of cloud infrastructure. So again, anytime I post a video, I really appreciate any comments, like, share, but your feedback's really important. You can always contact me directly as well. I keep my personal contact information on my LinkedIn profile. And we love to hear the feedback. So please tune in again to the next two parts of this series. I'm sure you're going to love it. Thank you.